Today I fucked up by overestimating how loud my new lawnmower is. I, 33M, recently purchased a new lawnmower. The one I had for the last few years was a pre-owned 20-plus-year-old beast that finally died out on me earlier this summer. For a normal-sized, non-self-propelled mower, that sucker was loud. Like, I couldn't run it after 7 p.m. loud without causing a disturbance to my neighbors. Well, I found a good deal on a new one, and I sent my old one to the big garden shed in the sky. This last Saturday, I decided to take it out for a spin. I donned my suburban dad outfit, baseball cap and all, and tossed on my noise-canceling headphones, turned my music on shuffle, and got to work. And of course, like I do with any household task while listening to music, I started to sing. I figured, hey, loud-ass mower, who's gonna hear me? So, for the next 60 minutes, I mowed and sang. I was an adult contemporary powerhouse, singing everything from Michael Jackson, to Post Malone, to a little J-pop here and there, to Whitney Houston. I don't care, I'm having fun, and who can hear me? Besides, I'm not a bad singer at all, I don't think. Not exactly going on tour anytime soon, but good enough that I think I could sing in some low-rent local cover band. Well, turns out my two neighbors who live in the house directly behind and rear left of mine were having a little powwow where their kids were out playing and they were just chilling on the lawn. I wasn't paying attention to them. At least, not until I got 85% of the way done and I stopped for a water break. I pull off my headphones, grab a big swig of my water bottle, take a moment to stretch my back, and then I see them. 3 of my adult neighbors have lighters in the air waving at me. I was puzzled at first, so I waved back politely. One of them said, "Great concert, fuzzy one. When's your next show?" I was confused for a moment, but, like the rising sun itself, the light of my humiliation crept across my mind. I wanted nothing more than to abandon the mower, run inside, grab my wife and kids, burn the house down, change my name, grow a mustache and move us all to Mexico out of sheer embarrassment. But I held it together, and said, probably a little louder and more high-pitched than I intended, "You guys could hear me?" They smiled and nodded. One of them laughed a bit. They were teasing me a bit, but not in a mean way. I said back, "Oh God, I'm so sorry." They told me it was fine and it was fun watching me enjoy myself with the singing and little dance moves I was doing. I stared at a little rabbit den forming in my yard, secretly wishing I could just go hang down there with the bunnies. I'm like, what the fuck, how can you hear anything over the lawnmower? I was singing, but certainly not loud enough to be heard past the lawnmower, right? Welp. I turned the mower on, sans headphones, and sure enough, this thing was way more quiet by comparison. Like, I could do a medium shout over this thing and be heard clearly, whereas the old one I could scarcely shout at the top of my lungs at a short distance to be heard. I laughed it off with more courage than I actually had at the time and said, "Well, next show's gonna cost you. I don't give front row seats for free to just anyone." They laughed, I waved, and got back to work, swearing that the next time I work outside it's going to be podcasts or nothing. I figured, okay, it's over, right? Embarrassing moment. Maybe they'll make a few jokes about it over the next few months, but they'll forget about it, yeah? Boy was I wrong. I sat down to dinner on Saturday night to an alert from Facebook that someone had posted in the neighborhood group. Turns out my neighbors talked after the incident, and now they're inspired, and want to do a neighborhood karaoke night, and they want me to join in and/or MC. They called me the neighborhood DJ, and now either I have to do this again for a larger crowd, or risk being seen as the neighborhood party pooper. We have 50-plus houses in the neighborhood and at time of writing, at least 40 people have commented on the thread expressing interest. I've been trying very hard to stay on good terms with my neighbors for obvious reasons, and they're overall pretty decent folk, but man, I am going to need to double up on my anxiety meds for this. Curse me and my magnificent singing voice. And #X200B. Too long did not read. I sang my heart out while mowing the lawn, thinking nobody could hear me. I was wrong, and now people want me to host a karaoke night. Mortifying, but you must be decently good. And obviously the neighborhood demands it, lol. I think you should show up in your suburban dad outfit and don't forget your headphones. How is this a fuck-up? Embrace your destiny, you, Fuzzy106. Become MC Grass Clippings. Your TikToks will slay if you stick the landing. And your lawn will look fan-fucking-tastic. Well, be glad they didn't record you and post it. Doing that karaoke with a little liquid courage might make a couple new friends. Are you going to wear lawn mowing attire to karaoke? The all-powerful lawnmower man with a voice a part of the plan. Take the plunge. And wear your lawnmower attire. Funny story. The scene of looking up and seeing your neighbors with lighters in the air is hilarious. Good luck at karaoke night. Today I fucked up during foreplay with my partner. This is still currently happening, we are just taking a break. So my partner, 26, and I, 25, were getting in the mood to do the deed. I won't go into the specifics because this isn't a smut piece. It was all going really great and the deed was about to start. My partner got on top of me, took off her top and I started sucking her nipples. I was moving from boob to boob and we are both having a wonderful time. Now one of my partner's nipples happened to be pierced. It has been pierced for a long time now and this has never been an issue. However, while I was enjoying said pierced nipple, I suddenly feel something small go into my throat. Yep, you guessed it, the piercing. I started coughing like a madman. Me and my partner like to mess with each other all the time. Yes, even during sex. So she cracked up laughing until all of a sudden I started spitting phlegm into my partner's face and body. I threw her off me and started coughing and spluttering onto the bed and thankfully out popped the bar. The issue was the ball was still in my throat. This is where we come to now. I have never been very good at triggering my gag reflex, so, my partner offered to help. She stuck her fingers down my throat and up all my spew came. We are still on the bed mind you, it was all rather quick and panicky. Now here we are sitting and, digging through my vomit, trying to find the ball part of her piercing. I'm currently writing this because we are taking a quick break from all the trauma and I said to her this would make a great Reddit story. Too long did not read. I swallowed my partner's nipple piercing in foreplay and had her help me spew it up on the bed so we could find it. Edit. We found it, cleaned it and put it back in the titty and then bought a new mattress. Edit. Okay, there seems to be a bit of confusion. The ball was stuck in my throat and I had to evacuate it. I vomited on the bed cause I was in panic mode. Also thanks for the suggestion of a mattress protector, we are gonna buy one tomorrow. I won't go into the specifics because this isn't a smut piece. My partner got on top of me, took off her top and I started sucking her nipples. I was moving from boob to boob. You put a whole new meaning in, balls deep. Not gonna harm your digestive system to poop it out. Not sure why you needed to puke it up. As a piercer. How did the ball get stuck in your throat? They are small, you would have swallowed it immediately. It's also not harmful and wouldn't have done anything to you. I have swallowed at least 15 whole tongue bars in my life and I barely felt them going down. I'm struggling to understand how you choked on the nipple bar which would have been much smaller. Today I fucked up by being a mixture of socially awkward and oblivious to clear signs of hooking up. This happened maybe 10 years ago, during my early college dorm days. Before I start, I just wanted to add I have never been in a relationship and do not know what flirting is and have zero awareness. If you want me to do something you have to straight up tell me. Anyways, there was a girl, solid 9/10 at the time, that I met that kind of blended into my small friend group. We're both shy introverted people so normally, we wouldn't even meet in the first place. Over time, I started to be more comfortable with her and I thought we got along pretty well. Well, one night as the group slowly died down and everyone started to go home, I ended up being alone with her. We talk and she brings up the topic of both being virgins. Now at this point, I have no clue what to say anymore and go to my super awkward insert, haha, or, interesting, whenever she talks about it. She then escalated about it and is now talking about how she wants to lose it and her friends back home were joking about not letting her back home before she lost it and hoped that college would be when she does. Maybe a solid 10 minutes of this and 10 minutes of me adding nothing to the conversation later, she gives up and just calls it a night. After that day, she became a bit more distant. Which I remember sucks cause I really enjoyed hanging out with her. A week after, I noticed my floor neighbor, Buddy's room, with a sock on the handle as I went over to the bathroom to wash up. On my way back to my room, I see her heading out of his room and now 10 years later think I have a pretty good understanding of what happened. TLR. Met a girl that I got along with pretty well. Ended up talking about sex and I completely shut down socially. She ended up fucking a buddy of mine instead. Edit. Minor wording stuff. Also, did not expect this to blow up so much, usually just a lurker. This is my first post and I made a random account for it. I'm glad people enjoyed the story. All I can say is the comment section was a joy to read through, and I'm glad you all had similar interactions. For the small amount of comments, no reason to talk badly about her. She was great even if she just wanted to bang. I enjoyed my time with her, although I'm not sure about her thoughts. I look back at this and just laugh, no matter how much I cringe at it. If I'm not holding it against her, neither should you. Final note. Women, hints work 0% of the time. For me at least. The only reason I'm with my girlfriend, 10 years and counting, is because she said something along the line of, I miss having someone to sleep next to and spoon up with. Maybe you should come over one night, anything less and I would have missed it. Edit. As someone pointed out, a lot of us would have said something like, okay maybe, or, I'll think about it, well, I did that. She said, I'm serious, come over next Wednesday. She later told me that she wasn't hoping anything would come out of it, but that she was going in with an open mind. Basically, either we just cuddle and sleep or this good friend become a little more than a friend, and both options were good. Today I fucked up by kicking my autistic uncle in the head. Kyle, he was asleep. For a little background, I, 17, and my family have been living with my grandparents, along with 3 of my uncles, 17, 15, and 9, for a while, and I tend to sleep on the couch. My uncle, 9, who we'll call Jake, is autistic and will sometimes sleep on the couch as well. It's a pretty big couch. Jake takes comfort in knowing that somebody else is there when he's asleep, so he usually touches me with his feet or lies down on mine. This doesn't bother me. I, however, didn't know about this when I first moved in, so when I woke up in the middle of the night to something on my feet, I instinctively tried to kick it off, not realizing it was him. He didn't wake up. He actually didn't really move at all, to be honest, but I felt so horrible after realizing what I had done. I have no clue how this kid is such a heavy sleeper, but I am so glad that he is. TLR, I kicked my 9-year-old uncle in the head because he was asleep on my feet and I didn't know it was him. Your uncles are that young? Who are you, Greg Heffley? Till a lot of people seems to have a hard time in taking a situation where siblings and cousins have huge age gap. I mean, you know you didn't do it on purpose. So, it doesn't hurt to apologize when he wakes up, even if there's a possibility he won't understand. He didn't even wake up? You need to up your game, son. Op be skippin' leg day. Jokes aside, as long as he isn't hurt I think you're good. Apologize if you need to. IDK how far on the spectrum he is, but if you simplify the situation and apologize then it's okay. Your uncle is 9? That can't be right.